Imagine this, ladies and gents. You're hanging out with a couple friends one night. Stacy's been having too much to drink as usual, and things are getting a bit awkward between you and Travis, but then your friend Will comes in with the clutch save. He says, "Hey guys, who wants to play Magic the Gathering?" Tony asks, "Magic the Gathering? What's that?" Will cracks a wide smile, and the rest is history. Can't believe it took me this long to get to this one, but I guess to be fair, I wasn't even aware that this game existed until maybe about a week or so ago.
You gotta be kidding me. What? You gotta be kidding me!
Anyways, let me give you a quick history lesson. Magic the Gathering is an incredibly popular trading card game created all the way back in 1993, created by Richard Garfield. It is widely considered to be one of the first, if not the first, major collectible trading card game. Naturally, over the years, as the game's popularity grew, so did its overall scope. Eventually, it became a story. The cards began to represent more than just cards, and eventually became a titan in not only trading card games, but fantasy worlds. It was only natural then that Magic the Gathering would also grace the world of video games. MTG had a few games that represented the card game in digital formats, but none of them really felt like a true legacy title until the game we are covering today, Magic the Gathering Arena, the official digital online multiplayer card game that essentially captures everything about the real card game just on your PC rather than in person. And it has the added benefit of avoiding those players that have a bit of a hygiene problem. And yes, I am aware there is an online action RPG coming out called Magic Legends, which I will cover soon enough in a future video, but you know, one game at a time, ladies and gents. Back on topic. Recently, I got back into the card game in real life. I found myself buying booster packs, pre-made decks, fat packs, card sleeves, etc. Before I knew it, I was down about $500 in eating ramen for the next week. But that's just how addicting and fun Magic the Gathering can be. All the cool combos and synergies you can make within a deck is so fun to theory craft, and it all translates perfectly onto Magic the Gathering Arena. After playing the real card game with some of my friends, I went ahead and downloaded the game on my PC to try it out and see what it was like. So is it worth checking out? Let's talk about Magic the Gathering Arena, the massive online digital trading card game, and see if you should play it. Magic the Gathering Arena, like I stated earlier, is essentially the full trading card game in a digital format. You download the game for free, create an account, play the tutorial, and bam! You're in the world of Magic the Gathering Arena. The tutorial more or less teaches you how to play the game, but in case you are new to Magic, I'll give you a quick rundown. The tutorial teaches you that Magic is typically played between two players. Your deck is constructed of cards within your collection, with cards being represented by different colors. The colors in Magic are red, black, white, green, blue, and technically colorless as well. Each color has their own strengths and weaknesses. Each game consists of different phases in which the player takes turns. You start with a hand of 7 cards, and each turn you'll have a plethora of options to choose from on how your turn will play out. Most turns you can play cards known as lands, which you can draw mana from. Using that mana, you can then play spells that can attack your opponent, summon creatures, let you draw cards, and much more. Each player starts opponents with 20 life. And the object of the game, or duel if you want to call it, is to reduce your opponent's health down to 0. Pretty simple in that explanation, but it can be a bit more complicated. Don't worry though, while Magic can be a game that's hard to master, it's incredibly fun to just pick up and play, so don't feel discouraged. Once you've completed the tutorial, you are brought to the main home page where you have a couple activities you can take part in. The game will recommend that you play the beginning challenges, which will help you learn how each color plays roughly, as well as unlocking cards for your collection, so I definitely recommend that being what you do first. Once that is completed, the game gives you daily quests that you can complete, which will earn you experience in gold. Experience is used to rank up your current season rank based on the game's current expansion. Each rank up will typically reward you with a free pack of cards to add to your collection. There is a premium season pass that will net you more goodies, but more on that later. Gold is used to buy more packs for your collection from any set you want, as well as being used to unlock cosmetic rewards. More or less, you should be striving to do all of your daily quests so you can get the most out of the game without having to purchase anything with real money. From the main menu, you'll see the current news and then modes of play. Most of the time, you'll be playing a standard PvP match against a random opponent online. What's really cool about Magic the Gathering Arena though is just how many different ways you can play. So if you are familiar with Magic, all the formats are here to play. Standard, Brawl, Commander, Draft, Limited, Pauper, Ranked PvP matches, etc. Certain modes can only be played during certain times or by paying gems, which is the premium currency. For instance, most draft events will require you to pay gems to play, draft being the most common mode of constructed play against multiple people. Most events will cost you around $15 to take part in, which isn't necessarily too bad, I do understand that, and playing any sort of match types will also earn you rewards similar to your daily quests. You can even play against your friends to complete some of your daily quests as well, so if you're a bit nervous starting out, grab a buddy and play some Magic to start earning some goodies. The best goodies arguably being cards, which you can then use to construct your own decks. You will start the game with a handful of decks to begin with, unlocking a good amount of cards to use, but as you start unlocking more cards, you'll be encouraged to actually create your own unique deck. This is where crafting comes into play. See, for opening packs as well as taking part in events or completing quests, you unlock wild cards for each rarity: common, uncommon, rare, and mythic rare. Wild cards can then be used to craft any card you might be missing. For example, let's say you have all the cards in a deck you are building except for that one card. Well, if you got the wild card for it, just craft it, and boom! You are good to go. I love this mechanic as it allows you to more or less fill in the gaps of whatever cards you might be missing. Unfortunately, I do have to admit you earn wild cards rather slowly, but it does give at least a free alternative to collecting cards you might be missing. So we've talked about Magic's history, how Magic the Gathering is played to an extent, what the game offers in terms of earning cards, modes of play, progression and rewards. Whew, I guess it's time to talk about the dreaded Cash Shop. Much like most of the MMORPGs or online games in general that I cover on the channel, Magic the Gathering Arena does have an online cash shop. If you've been following along throughout the video, I've been dropping a lot of little small hints that Arena isn't necessarily completely free. Sure, it's free to download, create an account, and just begin playing, but if you really want to dive into the game proper, unlock cosmetics, get some of the best cards in a decent amount of time, and play the game's more fun formats, you'll either have to save a decent amount of gold from a few days of play, or just pay some cash and buy gems. Most items generally cost about $10 worth of gems to buy, with some of the more important items being around 20. The store has a ton of different things to purchase. Obviously, there is booster packs, which will net you more cards to create decks with. There is avatar portraits that allow you to customize how your portrait looks when dueling against other players. Card sleeves that customize how your hand and deck looks to your opponents. Pets, which are small little animated things that interact interact with your playing field while you're playing your opponents, special cosmetic cards that you can use to further fancy up any decks you use, and finally the Season Pass, which provides rewards each time your profile levels up during that current card expansion, earning you even more rewards. While I can't necessarily fault this free-to-play game for having a cash shop, it is a bit steep on its prices. The most common gem pack the game recommends is the $20 bundle, which is 3,400 gems. 3,400 gems doesn't net you too much, unfortunately. It's enough to buy the Season Pass, which outright is 20 bucks. Maybe some cosmetic cards if you wanted to fancy up your deck, 15 packs worth of cards, any avatar you want since those are probably the cheapest items, and honestly better if you just unlock with earned gold. Card sleeves cost about 10 bucks or so, and finally pets are about 20 bucks each. To be fair, a ton of this stuff is literally just cosmetic items, things you really do not need to enjoy the game, but I do struggle to see why fake digital cards are worth about as much as real life cards. A booster pack of Magic cards is $4 in real life. Each booster pack here runs about maybe a half of that price, since you can buy 15 of them for 20 bucks worth of gems. It's not horrible though, I'd have to admit, and with the crafting system in place, you can just craft a lot of the cards you would be looking for when building a deck, and personally, I haven't spent any money on the game yet, and I'm having a blast. You can also get digital redeemable codes from certain Magic the Gathering products you buy in real life to earn you booster packs or decks, which will overall add to your card collection, so it's a win-win for me. Alright, the last few things I want to talk about is the game's overall presentation. It's fantastic if you ask me. I mean, let's be real here. I'm not sure how else you could present an online trading card game, and what is here is pretty good. The battlefields you play in are all randomized and have distinct looks, and I believe they are loosely based on Magic the Gathering lore. Of course, all the card art and aesthetics are top-notch, and while the music sort of takes a back seat in this game, it does set a nice tone to any game you are playing. In summary, as a Magic the Gathering fan, this game was perfect for me. If you are a newcomer, it can be intimidating to say the least, but like any game, it's best to jump in with some friends. Anyways, let's get to my overall thoughts. Magic the Gathering Arena is the best alternative to playing Magic if you can't play with friends or make it to your local card shop. It's the perfect alternative, especially with the current situation in the world. The game has a great, easy-to-use UI, and all the features you would expect to be here are here. Things like a friends list, ranking system, tournaments, organized PvP, events, etc. Arena has a plethora of different modes to play, with most of them being free, so if you don't want to necessarily spend a ton of money, playing Arena can get you a fair amount of fun for little to no cost. Lastly, the game is clearly going to continue to have a ton of support from the developers. It coincides with the real card game, so any new expansions coming out will come to Arena, and the game is also getting ported to mobile devices, so you can even play on the go, which personally, I'm incredibly excited for. While I do say the game is free to play, it's more like free to start. If you are a casual player looking for nothing else but something to just pass the time along, then the game as is will work, but if you want to start playing in tournaments or ranked play, you may have to start shelling out some cash to buy booster packs or to play in the more standard modes. The UI is great, but I can't say the same for some of the game's mechanics. Things like stopping the game per phase unless you have the move forward option selected can be a bit off-putting, since it gives a clear indication that the player has something in their hand they can play, which slightly removes a sense of strategy. The game itself can be a bit of a headache to understand sometimes on an advanced level. For instance, things like effects, spell stacks, tapping specific resources, etc. can all be a nightmare to wrap your head around as a newcomer. Lastly, and this is just a personal opinion, but the game, at least to me, doesn't hold a candle to the fun you can have playing with friends or people in person. I'm a more physical guy when it comes to collectibles, so not everyone will feel this way, and I fully understand that. Either way, it's Magic the Gathering, so it's bound to be fun unless you don't like card games. Yeah, if you don't like traditional card games, then Magic the Gathering Arena isn't for you, but maybe Magic Legends will be more up those players' alleys when that game comes out sometime in the future. Well, ladies and gents, that's MTG Arena. If you like Magic, then you will most likely have already been playing this game, but hey, I wanted to share my experience with it, to those who may want to dive in. Plus, it's just fun talking about Magic. I'm excited for the new set coming out at the time of this video called Kaldheim, so I think I'm going to go to my local store and pick up a pack. See you guys later, and you know, don't be a dirty, dirty cheater in Magic or else.
Oh my god. Dude, really? Really?